Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the kind of role which the transiting planets impart over your natal activated planets, or like I would say the way they influences the results over your dasha planets. Now what do I mean by that? So guys, lately I made a couple of videos in a series where, because the way even the slow moving planets are going through the transition, we know this thing that today at a time when I'm recording this video, like Saturn is about to enter into the Sadbhisha nakshatra. Jupiter is going to be transiting in the it is going to be getting retrograde on October 9th only. And I recently had a podcast with a Zoom session with Vanita G, a very respectful astrologer in YouTube. So over where we had our discussion on the Rahu's upcoming transit in the Aquarius next year. So when I was reading the participation or the comments in all of these three videos, over there I saw this kind of disassociation in people's mindset. Okay, I will clarify over here. So people have this mindset that okay, let's take up the case of the planet Saturn first. So people have this mindset that okay, Saturn in the transit is going to be creating cautionary energy for me only if I'm going to be in the grip of the Sadesati. For example, when Saturn is transiting 12th from my moon, transiting right over my moon, or the second house from my moon, or in certain cases even when Saturn is transiting 4th from my moon or 8th from the moon, then only I need to pay attention to it. Or let's say for example, even when we talk about observing the dasha of a planet, like let's take up the case of Saturn only. So now you know this thing that in your natal chart Saturn is placed in the 10th house or in the 11th house, and you have made this calculation and observation that okay, in this dasha Saturn is going to be giving me result in this specific pattern. In the antardasha, basis the relative distance of the mahadasha, antardasha planet and all, I can expect the results, and this is how you are going to be observing it. But trust me guys, that is the only reason we always recommend that if you actually have to study that how any specific dasha of yours is going to be manifesting results, a lot many astrologers recommend that wherever that dasha planet is sitting in your chart, you make that the ascendant and then observe it. So now in this video we are going to be having our discussion that you have to understand this thing that even if we are talking from the Saturn's perspective, so if you are in the Saturn dasha, the thumb rule is very simple. Wherever Saturn is going to be placed in your chart, the kind of houses it is going to be ruling in your case, basis that in its activated dasha, it will give you result. But you cannot overlook the fact that even the transiting Saturn is also forming a relationship with your natal placed Saturn as well. So let's say for example, if I were to take an example of someone who has got a Aries rising and Saturn is placed in the 8th house. So definitely 8th house Saturn is altogether a different discussion, but on a surface level we can say this thing that okay, for a Aries Lagna, Saturn becomes the 10th and the 11th lord if it is placed in the 8th house. So that means if native is doing something which is connected with iron, coal, research, junk material, spirituality, matters of life and death, insurance, then this native could be doing good. But now guys, over here, that's just a kind of observation which you have, which we all have, basis the way it has been written in the scriptures. But over here as well, we have to take into consideration the dasha or how Saturn is going to be behaving in the transit. So let's say for example, because this is how guys, I always say that whenever an astrologer has to make any prediction, the accuracy of the prediction or the I would say that the possibility of that prediction to come out true is dependent on this, that from how many direction the same planet is giving you or fulfilling that promise. So the point which I'm saying over here is that let's say for example, for the same person, if Saturn, the person with the Aries Lagna, Saturn being the 10th and the 11th lord, Saturn is there in the 8th house, the person is in the dasha of the Saturn as well. Now we all know this thing that Saturn which is currently transiting in the Aquarius, so that means for this person Saturn is transiting in the 11th house. So in whichsoever field native is going to be engaged, there is still going to be a possibility that the external circumstances might prove out to be much more profitable or profit giving to this person. But now the whole dynamics is going to change when Saturn is going to transit in your 12th house. Now guys, over here you have to understand this thing. Never ever look at it in this way only, that people have this way of looking at things that okay, now my dasha is running of the planet Jupiter, and transiting Saturn is doing its job in this way. Whichever planet's dasha you are currently going through, and specifically if you are in the dasha of a planet which has got a long allotted period of time. We all know this thing that Venus has got 20 years in the Vimshotri Mahadasha, like Saturn has got 19 years, Rahu has got 18 years. So whenever you are in the dasha of a planet, and whatever move that planet makes in the transit, it starts behaving, and the running dasha also starts molding up in the same fashion as well. So like the way I gave this reference example, that for someone who has got Saturn placed in the 8th house, we took up the case of the Aries Lagna. So in that case, the minute Saturn will transit in the Pisces, so over there definitely 8th house and 12th house energy, Saturn will also somehow start giving results which is going to be layered and which is going to be completely fashioned with the 12th house energy meant for that Lagna as well. So this is how you have to do the analysis. Let's take up the case of the planet Jupiter as well. We have understood a little bit. I will give you one more layer of this example only. So let's say for example, like if we have to take up the case of let's say for a Aquarius Lagna. So if you are a Aquarius Lagna, let's say for example in your case, your Saturn is going to be placed in the like 10th house, being a Scorpio Saturn, and you are also in the dasha of the planet Saturn. So whatsoever way you are facing the heat in your work front, let's say for example this could be a case that Saturn is your ascendant lord only in the 10th house. It is giving you opportunities, but whatsoever development is taking place in your life in the matters of your career, the growth has been little bit slow. And just because the transiting Saturn is transiting right over there in your first house, so it is putting you in the line a lot. Like you have been asked lot many questions, you kind of find yourself physically very lack of energy, putting too much of the physical efforts at work, and the results are not coming in the same line. But trust me, once Saturn will transit to your second house, Saturn is your ascendant lord, Saturn is there in the 10th house, you are also in the dasha of the planet Saturn. So this Saturn which is already activated in your 10th house, once the transiting Saturn will go to the second house, it will also start contributing to it, that this could be the time that whatever you have sacrificed, whatever you have put yourself in the line, the result of that in the form of financial remuneration, financial rewards will also start getting manifested in the time period when this transiting Saturn, which is also activated in dasha, placed in the 10th house, will move to the second house of finances. Same way guys, when we talk about the case of the planet Jupiter as well, so a lot is dependent on that what is the kind of placement of that planet. See, there are like couple of steps over here. The very first thing is that whenever you are observing the transit of any planet, it is our natural tendency that we generally attach more importance to the transit of the Saturn, Rahu, Ketu and the Jupiter, and to an extent planet Mars as well. So the very first thing you have to see is that while observing the transit of any planet, the very first step is you have to see the role of that planet in your chart. Second thing is the placement and promise of that planet in your chart. Third thing is that planet activated in the dasha as well? Like obviously, because a planet is only going to be in a condition to give results if it is activated in your timelines as well, if it is activated in your dasha as well. So let's take up the case that, for example, you are a let's take up the case that you are a Kumbh Lagna again. So let's take up the case of Kumbh Lagna, because when I use the example of the Aries Lagna, people say this thing that you are all the time mentioning your own chart only. So let's take up the case of the Aquarius Lagna. So you are an Aquarius Lagna. Let's say for example, your Jupiter is placed in the 11th house. So we all know this thing that for the Aquarius Lagna, Jupiter being in the 11th house, being in the sign of its own sign, it's own territory. Jupiter is the significator of that house as well, and this is also the house of the wish fulfillment, all sort of gains as well. Now we all know this thing that the next transit of the planet Jupiter is going to be taking place in the fifth house. Like for Aquarius Lagna, it is going to be taking place in the Gemini, which is going to be falling in your fifth house. So now you have to take into consideration, these are the following steps which you have to like follow. The very first thing is that the natal placement and role of the planet Jupiter. So we all know this thing that for the Aquarius Lagna natives, Jupiter cannot be seen as good as of a planet like the way Saturn or Mercury or Venus or Rahu could be. It is like kind of a killer planet as well, but at the same time it has got a capacity to give you lot of the like bountiful of the financial gains. So that is the kind of role which Jupiter plays in your case, in your chart, and that is the kind of promise which it carries in your chart, that Jupiter has this possibility to fulfill all of your wishes or give you very bountiful of financial gains, give you the respect or give you some important connections. Second thing, now we have to see that is Jupiter also activated? Are you also running its dasha as well? Now we got to know that okay, the native is also in the 16-year-long Mahadasha of the planet Jupiter as well. So we got to know that the second quality eligibility is also getting fulfilled. Now you have to pay attention that what Jupiter is doing in the transit, because now what is going to be happening over here is that understand this thing, that when Jupiter in the transit is there in your fourth house, if during this time, see, individually in your natal chart, Jupiter has this capacity to fulfill your promises, and the transiting Jupiter is just giving you this indication that okay, in these directions the promise can be fulfilled only if you are putting efforts in that direction. So let's say for example, we got to know the role and the promise of the Jupiter, we got to know its active dasha, its status is it is currently active. Third thing is that if during that time only Jupiter is transiting in your fourth house, when it is transiting in the Taurus, it might be a very fulfilling, promising time for you to invest in the house or buy your own first house. When Jupiter will transit in the fifth house, now definitely it is going to be making a straight connection with the natal Jupiter as well. So all of the promises which might be connected with the fifth house, Jupiter will work very beautifully in its activated dasha being there in your 11th house, because now it is going to be in a state, in a condition to fulfill that promise. So yes guys, this was just a basic overview. All what I wanted was that I wanted you guys to understand while observing the transit of a planet in this fashion, that whenever planet in the transit is making any move, somehow the same planet in its activated dasha being placed in your specific house in the chart, it also kind of mold its significations, the way it gives results as per the way the same dasha planet is making moves in the transit.